Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Monday, July 16, 2018. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. Premier of Nevis and the Minister of Finance, the Honourable Mark Brantley, has expressed a deep concern about an article carried in the UK's Guardian newspaper on 12th July 2018 under the byline of Oliver Bollow, an article which Mr. Brantley says, and I quote, is obviously calculated to damage the reputation of Nevis as a reputable and well-regulated international financial centre. In a press release issued by the Office of the Premier on Monday, July 16th, Mr. Brantley points out that contrary to the allegations made by Bollow in the Guardian article, Nevis, and indeed the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, has been consistently reviewed by the leading international regulatory agencies and has recently been graded as largely compliant by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. The release says both the OECD and the Financial Action Task Force, FATF, have assessed the jurisdiction's compliance status as being largely in line with international requirements as to disclosure and maintenance of adequate records that would identify beneficial owners by competent authorities making the appropriate inquiries. The island's Premier and Finance Minister added that there are adequate measures for disclosing the identity of beneficial owners of companies registered in Nevis, and such information can be disclosed in circumstances where legitimate inquiries are being made by the relevant authorities of jurisdictions that are parties to the several information exchange treaties and agreements to which the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis is party. Disclosure of information is permitted for the purpose of pursuing allegations of wrongdoing by the competent authorities under enabling legislation. Disclosure of information is also entirely permissible through court proceedings to compel disclosure where right to disclosure arises. The release states that the Financial Services Regulatory Commission confirms that under the laws of Nevis, there exist various mechanisms in place for sharing information with the treaty, law enforcement, and regulatory counterparts, and several provisions in the legislation exist to sanction any entity incorporated in Nevis which is proven by local or foreign law enforcement to be involved in criminal or illicit activity. Information held on a Nevis entity by the Nevis regulator or by any licensed service provider in Nevis may not be disseminated to any person not legitimately connected to that entity except in the context of wrongdoing being asserted by competent local or foreign authorities or pursuant to court order. As part of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, the island has seen the continual update of its legislative and regulatory framework to ensure its compliance with international standards. Such legislative updates include, but are not limited to, the various tax and information exchange arrangements with foreign companies, mutual legal assistance in criminal matters with foreign countries, FATCA obligations with the United States of America, common reporting standards, and joining the OECD's Base Erosion and Profit Shifting Initiative approved by the G20. The release concludes by stating that the Premier condemns what he terms this irresponsible approach to journalism and the very real harm it can cause to the reputation and economy of the island of Nevis. He said Nevis will continue to ensure that it is a well-managed and properly regulated international financial center and shall continue to comply with all international regulatory standards. In more local news,
I would like to welcome all of you to this morning's session.
Coordinator of the Gender Affairs Division, Lauren Archibald, making the opening remarks this morning, Monday, July 16th, as the division commenced the Gender Sensitization Workshop for senior public sector workers at the Emergency Operations Center at Long Point. The objective of the workshop is to sensitize senior government officials about gender and explore gender-related issues in Nevis.
Over the years, society has formed and maintained several stereotype images of human being through the process of socialization. Different norms are prescribed for boys and girls, men and women. Boys and girls who perform the roles that society expects them to perform are appreciated and accepted by society. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just given you a brief overview of what we can expect this morning from our presenter, Lebrechta Nana Ove Hassebain. These types of gender sensitization workshops can take you into a reflective mood, causing you to examine your own beliefs and values. It may even touch many of us personally or professionally. The leadership in organizations has a vital role to play in this change, as it may call for changes in policy practices and work culture. We know that this one-time visit is not adequate for gender training, but we do hope that by using this sensitization, it will help to change the mindset and views of many.
Participating in the gender sensitization workshop are representatives from the Nevis Air and Seaports Authority, NASPA, the Nevis Disaster Management Department, the Nevis Electricity Company Limited, NEVLEC, the Ministry of Health and Gender Affairs, the Department of Social Services, Nevis Postal Services, the Department of Trade and Consumer Affairs, and the Department of Sustainable Development on St. Kitts.
So my aim is to work with you to see how gender affects all areas of our lives, both professionally and personally, and to see how we can make this world a more equitable place to live in so that nobody is at a disadvantage. Thank you so much for the opportunity, to the Nevis administration, and I'm really looking forward to working with all of you today.
Today's sessions covered conceptualizing gender, rational gender mainstreaming, a group activity on exploring gender-related issues in Nevis, and keys to gender mainstreaming. The Ivor Walters Primary School held its 32nd annual graduation and prize-giving ceremony on Thursday, July 12th at the Shiloh Baptist Church, where 20 students graduated. Featured speaker for the event was pastor student Jaron Brown, who spoke on the afternoon's theme, Silence the Voice That Says You Can't by Doing It, where he referenced the win by the Ivor Walters Primary School's cricket team in the Wanaka Morton's Primary School Cricket Tournament. A number of graduates formed part of the school's team.
Silence the voice that shouts discouragement and doubt, because the truth is that many times those same voices belong to persons who don't want you to see you succeed in life. I walked into the E.T. Willick Park on Tuesday, where there was a cricket match ongoing. It was Ivor Walters Primary versus the Charleston Primary. And I was asked by one of the supporters of the other side if I came to watch Ivor Walters Primary get some licks. I said yes, and that I was there to see Ivor Walters Primary give some licks as well. You see, Ivor Walters Primary had faced another school, the Elizabeth Pemberton Primary School, some time before, and they were defeated. And so this team that they were playing may have thought that it would have been an easy walkover for them. But our cricket team came together and they came back hard. They continued to believe in themselves, and they silenced the voices of all those who thought that the other side would win.
The valedictorian for the graduating class was Imogen Archibald. Archibald received the Premier's Award for being the most outstanding girl in the test of standards, Principal's Award for being in the top 10 best performers on the island, and the Deputy Governor General's Award for being the top student overall, among others.
Fellow graduates, today I challenge us to hone this theme and apply it to our lives. I challenge us to grow our mindset to always surpass expectations by rising to the challenge. We know that it is only through hard work and self-discipline we can truly accomplish our dreams. So today, let us personalize the words of our school motto: aim at the stars and we will reach the sky. And as we venture onto high school, let us take these mottos with us in our hearts and be guided by them. I am here to remind us, we are the ones who will determine our fate. We have the ultimate power to direct our destiny and to silence the voice that says we can't by doing it.
Alan Williams also received the Premier's Award for being the most outstanding boy in test of standards at the school, the Secret Rents Award, and Best Buy Limited Award, among others. Other top performers in test of standards were Ariana Webb, Empress Hutton, and Leanna Liburd. The ceremony, which was chaired by Randy Elliott, past student of the school, was held under the patronage of Mr. and Mrs. Carl Liburd. The principal of the school, Janice Whitaker Richards, presented the school report for the school year 2017-2018. Still to come.
So I really want to greet the contestants and say how happy and delighted we are that you have seen it fit to be a part of Culturama 2018.
We'll give you the details after this break. Welcome back. Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, and his wife, Mrs. Sharon Brantley, on July 14th hosted a reception at Yachtsman's Grill in honor of all the participants for Culturama 44. At Saturday evening's event, Minister of Culture, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, spoke on behalf of Premier Brantley, who was away on official government business.
So we are so happy that the Premier would have once again seen it fit to host the cocktail in honor of our contestants. Now, of course, we cannot underestimate the contribution of our contestants to Culturama. Without our contestants, we cannot have pageants. And without pageants, we cannot have Culturama. And that is why year after year, the Nevis Island Administration have seen it fit to host a cocktail to honor our contestants. I know over the past few weeks the contestants must have been extremely busy. And tonight, contestants, we have organized this event for you to let your hair down and of course get a breeze up. And of course from tomorrow the hard work begins again. So I really want to greet the contestants and say how happy and delighted we are that you have seen it fit to be a part of Culturama 2018.
Minister Evelyn also expressed appreciation to the 2018 Culturama Committee.
I also want to say how happy I am that our Culturama committee members have come back on board to serve and to serve voluntarily for 2018. And so kudos to the Culturama committee, to the various subcommittees for all of the hard work that you have done so far. And we are expecting, and from what I'm seeing this year, I know we're going to be having some very quality and competitive shows. And of course it is left out to you, the members of the general public, to come out and show your very great support for Culturama this year. I would like as well at this point to just encourage all of Nevis and St. Kitts as well, and across the region as well, to be a part of the Caribbean's greatest summer line, Culturama. And of course, Culturama 44 promises to be extra grand.
In addition to enjoying cultural performances as well as entertainment from the Smooth Vibes Band, guests at the reception also heard from the senior pageant contestants for the first time.
I am your contestant number one, Miss Nevlet Adiola Masha, inviting you to come and witness 4 beautiful ladies on the 5th of August, vie for the title Miss Culture Queen 2018.
I am your flow girl, contestant number 2, Ariel Bergen, inviting you on August 5th. Come on out and witness 4 beautiful ladies, mesmerize your evening.
I am 20-year-old Tiwana Cranston, contestant number 3 in this year's Miss Culture Queen pageant. I am proudly sponsored by the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis.
I am 20-year-old Neela Jones and proud ambassador of the Caribbean St. Kitts Nevis Limited, appearing 4th in this year's Miss Culture Queen pageant. I am inviting one and all to the Cultural Complex August 5th, 8 p.m. sharp to witness 4 lovely ladies.
I am 20-year-old Avis Glasgow, hailing from, St. Kitts, contestant number 1 in this year's Miss Culture Swimsuit pageant. Proudly sponsored by Nevis Solid Waste Management Authority. Come on out on July 31st, 8 p.m. sharp. Make sure I see you there. Hailing from Sugar City, St. Kitts, I am your contestant number 2, Cariella Liburd. Proudly sponsored by the Clive Evelyn Construction Company. Come on out on Tuesday 31st July to witness me and 4 other ladies vie for the title of Miss 2018 Cultural Suit Pageant.
She's a 23-year-old, Gomisha Malone, sponsored by Flo, and she's inviting everybody to come on out on the 31st.
I am your contestant number 3, Miss Shalika Grant, proudly sponsored by Carrie Brewery St. Kitts Nevis Limited. I am inviting one and all to come out on the 31st of July, 8 p.m. sharp at the Nevis Cultural Complex and witness me and 4 beauties come alive for its fete, food, folklore, for its Culturama 44.
I am your ambassador number 5, Vinette Jones, sponsored by Fit Wellness Center. I would like to invite each of you to come on out on July 31st at the Nevis Cultural Complex to witness myself and these beautiful young ladies vie for the title.
My name is Ranciata Jeffers, your participant number 1 in this year's Mr. Cool competition, proudly adopted by Flo. Come on out on the 31st July 2018 to witness a show filled with class, manliness, and raw talent. See you there.
I am your participant number 2 in this year's Mr. Cool competition show. I am probably sponsored by Mr. Stella's Engineering. So make sure I see you on the 31st of July, 8 p.m. sharp at the Cultural Complex.
Proudly adopted by Nevis Cultural Development Foundation. My name is Jonah Valerie. And on the 31st of July, I'm going to see each and every one at the function.
I am participant number 4, Craig Angon, proud sponsor by the Nevis Culturama Committee. Please, I'm inviting every one of you on the July 31st, 8 p.m. sharp, the Nevis Cultural Complex.
I am very old Kwame, contestant number 5. Just want to wish everyone a very good night. Thank you all for coming out. Let me tell you all something. This year, Culturama, y'all got to come up and make this a big one. You understand? Please, full support.
This year's Culturama will be held under the patronage of Clefrin Shine Daniel. The quarterfinals for the TDC Senior Calypso competition for Culturama 44 took place last evening, Sunday, July 15th, at your Brenter's Bar and Restaurant. A total of 22 Calypsonians performed 1 song each in front of a large, eager crowd. During the judges' deliberations, reigning King Hollywood performed his song for this year's competition. At the end of the evening's event, a total of 14 Calypsonians qualified to perform in the semi-finals of the competition. Master of Ceremony Kermani Webb revealed the results to the audience.
The semi-finals are, let me run down to again, Astro, Nazi, This and That, Charity, Polo, X-Man, Suki, Owen, Murray, The Enforcer, Papa Wheeler, Lady Smooth, Baker, and Daddy Nature.
The semi-finals of the TDC Senior Calypso competition is set to take place on Saturday, July 28th at the Nevis Cultural Village. This year's festival will be held with the slogan, Fet Food Folklore Culturama 44. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, thank you for viewing.